Hi friends, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about this Jasmine Spies. So in the previous video, we have learned why we need to use this Jasmine Spies. So what are the use cases and where we need to use this Jasmine Spy we have seen. Now in this video, we will learn what is a Jasmine Spy and how we can create a spies and how we can isolate the dependencies for our test method. We'll try to see it in this video. Spies create test doubles and help us isolate dependencies for true unit testing. So here this is the definition for the spies. You understood that whenever you are trying to do the unit test for a function, for a component or for a function, so it should be free from the dependencies. So we should isolate the dependencies. Now if you are testing a method that has a dependency and we need to isolate the dependencies using the spies. Now how the spies isolate the dependencies? It creates the test doubles and help us isolate the dependencies for true unit testing. So now you may be getting a doubt that what is a test double. So let's try to see that one also. Now before that we need to learn what is this spy is. Spies create test doubles and help us isolate the dependencies for a true unit testing. So that's it. Now what is a test double? A test double is an object. So test double is simply an object that can stand in for a real object in a test. So that means test double is nothing but it is a duplicate object, something like that. So it will come in front of the real object in a test case. So in order to get for the calling for a real object, so this test double will create a duplicate object for that one. So how can I say is, for example, you have in a movie, if you think you have an actor, so if you want to do any stunts or anything, so a duplicate actor will come in front of the real actor. So now this guy is a duplicate thing. So but he does the same thing what the hero does, real actor does this. So like that, a test double creates a object which can stand in for a real object in a test. So that is the example I can tell it. We use these test doubles to replace the dependencies in our suite. So why we use this one? So we use these test doubles to replace the dependencies in our suite. So this is the main thing. So test double just simply replaces the main function, the main dependency, and it creates a duplicate dependency. And these test doubles we will be using to replace the dependencies in our suite. So these will create us, so these means the test doubles will create as a control environment because we are controlling the test so that we don't have any dependencies. So this will create the as a control environment so that we can control our test. So actually we need to control our test. So what we need to execute and what is the expected thing. So that if you don't have any dependencies, so these test doubles will isolate those dependencies so that we have a control environment. Jasmine has test double functions called as spies. Now these test double functions called as spies. So normally in other framework they are called as test doubles itself. In Jasmine we call them as spies. So that's it. So test doubles and spies are one and the same only. In other frameworks we call these as test doubles only. But in Jasmine we will call it as spies. So this test doubles is nothing but a spies in Jasmine. A spy can stub any function and track calls to it and all arguments. So a spy can stub means, what we can do is, so in a test case we are trying to call a function, but actually in the real time a spy what it will try to do is, it will not call that function, it will not execute that real function, it will create a stub means duplicate, so that it will act that it has been called. Okay, so like that it will try. So it will stub any function. So it will make a duplicate of any function and track calls. So how many times it has been called to that function without executing. So that if you are trying to execute a function, it will track the calls to it. So how many times it has been called and what are the arguments that it has been passed. So without really executing that main function, so a spy will create a spy on that. Stub means so without executing the function. Okay, we'll know about this stub when we are doing the practical implementation. Then you will understand about this stub. So a spy can stub any function and track calls to it and all arguments. So it will create a tracking. So it will track all the calls, how many times it has been called to that function. The test case when you are writing a spec, so how many times this has been called and what are the arguments that has been passed when you are calling that function. So like that a spy can create all those reports. A spy only exists in the suite. So suite means nothing but which has been created with the describe function, or the spec means it block in which it is defined, and it will be removed after each spec. So a spy only exists in the suite or the spec block in which it is defined and will be removed after each. So after completion of this each spec, the spy what has been created, it will be removed. That means your spy cannot be shared between describes or different specs. So that means the spies which you have created in one suite, it cannot be shared with between the suites or between the specs. So you need to understand this one also. If you want to share some behavior with your spies, means you can use the setup and teardown methods. So now if you have some behavior and you want to share between the spies, means so you can use the setup and teardown methods like by before each, before all, and after each and after all. So these methods we can use it so that it will provide us a good opportunity or a good methodology to clean up all those things what the spy has did and all those things. We can use this setup and teardown methods. Now there are also some special matchers for interacting with the spies. So we haven't discussed in the matcher section. So these matchers belong to the spies for that reason. So when we cover the spies concept, so that we can discuss those matchers in that spies concept. So I didn't explain in that matchers thing, but spies also have some special matchers which interact with the spies. So let's try to know about the special matchers. The matchers are most of the things most commonly we will be using these three special matchers. So first one is to have been called, and the second one is to have been called with, and the another one is to have been called times. So these are the three special matchers that will be used along with the spies. So these are the three main spy matchers we use with the spies. So these are the things. So to have been called, to have been called with, and also another one is to have been called times. So these three matchers. And what I can say is there are also most of the time we use these three methods only, but there are also other spy matchers also present in the Jasmine documentation. So if you want, means you can feel free to go to the documentation and you can find the spy matchers. If these methods are not appropriate for you to use, not appropriate means these matches. So if you want to use more things, means so if it is not suitable for you writing the test spec, means you can go to the documentation and you can see more spy matchers that are available in the documentation. So you can go there and you can see it. But what I can say is most of the times we will be using this to have been called and to have been called with, to have been called times. So these are the most we will be using these spy matchers. So this is all about the spies thing. So hope you understood about this Jasmine Spies. So Jasmine Spies and test doubles are one and the same, but in Jasmine you will call it as a spies. So Jasmine Spies create the test doubles so that it is a test double is an object, just its object, it acts as a duplicate for the real object. So that is the main thing you need to understand. Hope you understood about this Jasmine Spies. In the next video we will try to do the practical implementation of this Jasmine Spies, how we can use it and what are the things we can do it. Let's try to see it in the next video. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.